Hey, hello and happy Tuesday. Feels like Monday because we're getting back into the swing of things, but I hope you guys have had a good weekend. If you were working today or back at work, I hope you had some good time off. Getting started with our normal 15-minute stint on, 5 minutes off. There we go. Okay. Happy Aquarius season. It's finally Aquarius season. I say finally, but honestly, the time has gone so fast. It's crazy to think that that's already here. Hello, hello. Hi, son. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. What are some of your favorite movies or shows? Because you seem to like Hollywood movies. You mentioned them. Anything that you like to watch or you think of a lot? Thank you, thank you. I love that. Thank you, thank you. We'll manifest that. I'll give you sun credit in the comments when that happens. Whenever I'm on the big screen. Yes. I love that. Oh yeah. It is small on the mobile. Sometimes I'll do it on my I will do streams on my computer, but I like the mobile phone camera for this because it does help me a little bit more. Let's see. I'm gonna try this. There you go. Hello, hello. There you go. And I'm back. Hello, hello. Hi, Eric. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Sagittarius, I love that. Happy belated birthday. You guys, we always say, we being astrologers are like one of the celebrities of the zodiac. So whatever you want to be known for, you guys are fun. You always have a little bit of luck on your side too. Even when it doesn't feel like it, you get out of things a little bit faster or more quickly than the average person. I love a good Sagittarius. But it can be too, when you're not happy, you're welcome. Nobody else is happy. So we like to keep a good Sagittarius happy. I have quite a few Sages in my life, so I like to keep you guys close. I always know I'm going to have a good time. I always know I'm going to laugh too. Again, when you're in a good mood. That's the important distinction. Because people are always kind of paying attention to you, whether you like it or not, which can be a little disorienting as well. So you're like, oh, I didn't realize that these many people were paying attention to me. Yeah. When it also affects others. Yeah, it's like that expansiveness of Jupiter. It's like you're the plant. Every zodiac sign. I don't know. Forgive me if you know this, but every zodiac sign has a planetary ruler. So yours is Jupiter. So it's like it pushes outward. So everyone can feel like when the vibes are off. So it's like having to really like, okay, if I don't want attention, I just realize now that I have to do my little hermiting or else people are gonna be like, are you okay? Are you okay? What's going on? What's wrong? Yeah, I do it for work, so that's what I'm working on now. Simultaneously, I'm making a little Instagram post for Aquarius season, because it's Aquarius season today. So, and the reason I like can recall or account so much information is that I'll look at like, okay, not only like reading from books, but when you start to really look at people around you and say, okay, all the Sages that I know in my life all tend to have this same thing happen to them, it starts to be easier for us to remember, when we see real people in real time. That's when we can like actually apply the knowledge in a way that's helpful. Yeah. Hello, I'm from the US. Oh, Taurus. I love that. Venus ruled. You guys are also really beautiful. Very stubborn. Your way or the highway. You're like, why would anyone do anything different? Can't you see that my answer is the right one? I love that about Tauruses too. I have a lot of Scorpio, which sits opposite. So yeah. And like, I love a good Taurus placement because, oh, Cancer. Hi, Logan. Hello. Cancer. Yeah, you guys, I was saying you are my like mushy sensitives of the zodiac, but yeah, Tauruses. Oh, railway worker. Oh, wow. That's a hard job. I appreciate the work that you do. Thank you for it. But yeah, Taurus, like I always know with the Taurus placement, like your sun, your moon, your rising, I'm always going to have a really, really good food. Oh, you're a Taurus too, Eric. Okay, yes, very central. Makes a lot of sense. But really good food. Like you'll pick like a really nice restaurant. Like you like to take your time with everything. You think about like just like kind of grazing and enjoying life and like the pleasures of life too is very Tauran. So it makes a lot of sense. I love that. Yeah, like food. Yeah. Cancer, you guys are like, I don't like when anyone like really pokes a Cancer because Cancer's the crab, right? So people see a tougher exterior on the outside, but really like they don't give you enough credit for being sensitive, right? Like a lot of people think that it's really easy for you to just kind of like they don't think that they need to protect you as much as they do sometimes. Like you're more sensitive on the inside than you may show externally. So a lot of people don't give you as much grace and credit sometimes. And people also are going to notice you whether you like it or not too. So it's like when you're in a good mood, it's great, similar to Sagittarius. When you're in a bad mood, it's bad. I'm a Pisces. So I'm the last of all the zodiac, where basically I feel like I'll be 32 this birthday, but I feel like I've lived 100 lifetimes already. I feel like every Pisces that I know relates to that. My favorite place in the whole wide world? Oh my gosh. That's hard to discern. In the US, one of my favorite places in the US was Sedona, Arizona. That I like. But yeah, I'm a Pisces. Sagittarius. Oh, dating a Cancer. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Excuse me, because I would also look at, for who's in charge, I would look at your rising sign to see what house that's like our natal chart is broken up into 12 puzzle pieces, right? So I would look at where the sun is. So if you're a Sagittarius that has your sun in, say, the 10th house, then you may feel a little bit more naturally in charge. If the Cancer, your Cancer partner has the sun in like the, thank you, yeah. I've lived a long time. Can you find my sun and my moon? I do these like co-working sessions, so I chat in between. I'm just finishing up an Instagram post. But if you go to, like, if you just do a quick Google to like astro.com, I actually like astro-seek.com. That's a really good one. You can put in your birth info. And then on the right hand side, there'll be a little icon and it'll say sun and your moon. So I would look there too and then let me know. And then that way you have it to refer to again and again. But yeah, I would also say, I feel like as a Sagittarius, people would think that you are, thank you. Yeah, I know, right? I think people would think that you are more in charge, but I would say the Cancer is probably somebody that does a little bit more of the manipulating behind the scenes, if you will. And manipulation doesn't always have to be a bad thing. It can just be pivoting the energy to make it what they want it to be. Maybe orchestrating would be a better word too. That would be my guess. But I also look at like nuance for that too, right? So all of those kinds of layers to a chart where we're so much more than just our sun sign too. Yeah, she's the boss. Yeah, there you go. The orchestrating. Yes, I love that. Aw. I'm gonna keep my little playlist on right now, but I can save it for later. Thank you. I like your name. Adora is pretty. But yeah, Cancer. I would say like any Cancer placement that I know unwillingly controls it, whether they know it or not. Like they don't realize how much power that they have also energetically over a room. So it's like, as a Sag, it makes sense because you're like, I just want to have a good time. So if my Cancer's in a bad mood, like what do I have to do to make us have fun again? Thank you. Aw, you're so sweet. But that kind of vibe of a Cancer. That reminds me of some Cancers, or just think of some Cancers. Cancer risings too, or Cancer ascendant. I think of that as well. Oh, I'm gonna flip this guy again. Our little 15-minute hourglass timer. Yeah, I'll save it for when I'm off live, but thank you. Hi, Deanna. How are you? Yeah, sure. Oh, I love that. I do love songs in different languages. I have Spotify, so if that helps you. One of my favorite like playlists on Spotify with words is the Arabic or Arabian Lounge playlist. So yeah, I love that, Deanna. Sounds good. You know we're here, so I'm glad. And in case my live ever goes out, like if the app crashes, I always restart my live. So if you guys are here and it pauses or something, I'll restart my live and I'll make a little post. If I leave though, like say it's like later and I need to do other things, I'll make a post saying that I'll be back on tomorrow, just in case that happens, because sometimes that happens too. Okay, go next door. Okay. Oh, thanks, Snooze. Yeah, Taurus. Yeah, I do energy of the day. I follow another discipline called human design. And so for the energy of the week ahead, I'll look at that. But that gives me some more ideas actually from some content for you guys. I can make like, what would you like to learn? Like, would you like a video about what it means to be a Sagittarius? Because I can make one for you over the next week or so. I'll go back. Okay, so we're like 13 minutes into the live. So what I'll do is I'll go back in the chat replay and I'll look at all your songs. Thank you. Yeah, I love songs in other languages. We were just talking about that in my live yesterday too. But Sag, Taurus, we have Cancer. I'll do a little outline too. Oh my god. Would you rather fight... Wait, okay, hold on. I have to read this slow. Would you rather fight 10 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck? Oh, 10 duck-sized horses for sure. You just kick them out of the way. I really like anything. I actually used to work in the music industry in my early and like mid-20s in New York. So I was exposed to a lot of different music. So I really like all genres. There's nothing that I don't listen to, truly. Oh, that's very sweet. That's very sweet. Yeah, I really do. I love, like, if I could go back to school, yeah, big city gal. I'm from New Jersey, so like being in this kind of area, it's not as common. Who wants to fight a Taurus? I think yeah, needing to get Taurus is represented by the bull, right? So the girls are crying. Yeah. I think that people give up fighting Tauruses because you guys are like relentless. Like when you see that you're right about something or like believe in what you're fighting for, it's like that primal urge to just do whatever you have to do to win. Think about like the matadors in Spain, that kind of energy. It's so funny. Yeah. Like any tourist I know, like most Taurans I know, I like think of a few off the top of my head, like they'll like talk a lot about something, and then like if the subject changes to something they're not interested in, they're like, okay, I'm gonna go back to grazing and going back into my hole, my hidey hole, and like do whatever I have to do to feel grounded. Yeah. I just look at, like, I'm really good at like analyzing and tracking data. I always said I should work for the FBI because I have that kind of like, I have a lot of Scorpio again, so I have a lot of that like tracking in me. So I'm always like analyzing everyone around me, and like I'm an Aquarius rising, so it's like that kind of like detachment, and it's very easy for me to get along with like multiple different people. Thank you, Snooze. I wrote down, so for Sag, Taurus, and Cancers, because you guys were my most common here, I'll make a little video for you guys this week in like a longer post about each of the sun signs, and so you guys can look at them, maybe like, I don't know, like 8 to 10 minutes or so. So it'll be fun, because I want to start to get into more, like, in addition to human design, more of the astrology, because I've had some requests for that too. So I'm happy to help. Anything that helps us to make ourselves feel a little bit known, you know, or understand ourselves a little bit better is also helpful. And I always say, like, it helps us to be, like, more understanding of how other people operate, because, like, there's so many different, there's 12 different sun signs, right? So there's going to be so many different ways that we express ourselves, and need to have, like, a little bit more just, like, understanding of observing the world around us. And then you take, if somebody's like an Aries and they move really fast, and you're a Taurus that wants to just like take your time at dinner and not rush to go, you know, somewhere else. It's like you can not take it so personally with the way that other people act. So that kind of energy. Libra, oh my God, you're like Libras are what people think Scorpios are, because it's like you have this beautiful like Venusian, you're ruled by Venus, you have this beautiful Venusian bubble around you where people don't realize like how smart you actually are. Like Libras can be very like cunning and calculated, but like that doesn't always have to be a bad trait either. Like you could be like observational, and kind of like every Libra I know, one of my best friends is a Libra, and she's like, everything will be fine. So like even if the car crashes, like we're okay. I always wanted to say bye when I leave the live. Oh yeah, you're so funny. Yes, exactly. Just like drift into another thing. I never do. Aquarius Mercury, I'm like, I've already left before I've actually left the live. Like that kind of vibe. You can see my energy start to like dip. Do our pets have star signs? They do. I have my little, wait, you'll appreciate this. My little Leo sitting right there and looking at the snow with his little chunky butt. So my little Leo, he always likes to be by mommy. So yeah, they do take on the traits of their sun signs for sure. Like Benny is very vocal. Like this morning, it was funny because we were in the kitchen getting, and he came out from the bedroom, and we didn't like we were working on like this puzzle on our kitchen table, and we didn't like respond to him right away because we were focused on what we were doing, and he meowed like so many times so loud because he was like, you did not greet me like I was supposed to be greeted, you should give me attention. Which is very Leo. He was born in like late July. Mercury, Venus, and Venus, Mercury. Yes, absolutely. That makes sense. That's so funny. I know. I love that though. It's so fun to like see how different people like different versions of manifestation, and then our pets too, for sure. Okay, I'll just make that time look like for 2026. How can I fit pursuing bite-sized versions of my goals each day? In other words, if you want to grow on social media, just give me an idea. I don't know what that is. The wrong code. We're getting closer to, technically today, or tomorrow rather, is like the human design start of the new year. But we also have the year of the horse coming up. I like the lunar new year. Today I feel like I can feel that kind of difference. But I really like following the Chinese New Year calendar. So, hi, I'm from the US. Welcome. Name a car for an edit. Mercedes S-Class. It's been a while. I actually used to work in with cars too. Yeah. I think I'm very nice. Thank you. Try to be. The world is a hard place for a lot of people, so I like to be the change I wish to see in the world. Hi, Cassandra. Thank you. I got it in Maine. Oh, I love that. Yes, it's like, so we're at like the crunchy degrees, like very last degrees of Pisces and Saturn. So it's making a lot of people exhausted. And it's just like, yeah, low and slow today. Hi, Johnson. Welcome. Not as, how do I word it? Flowy, easier. Even it's like we just feel a lot of that pressure. Yeah, I understand. It's like that. Oh, like I want to get something done, but like, why does this feel so crunchy? Like crunchy is the best. I don't know how. What other way to describe it? That kind of pressure. Okay, good. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Did I end up downloading It's funny because I was thinking about, with the influx of new technology and, yada, yada, how we're going to go back to people looking for typos in other people's work as a sign that they're actually human. So looking at that for 2026 being less hard on yourself if you have a typo or anything like that, because people are going to be like, oh, and now I know that this actually is an AI. But then there's also the put a couple typos in here to make me sound human. And I made a post today. Well, I filmed it. I didn't post it yet, but about how our concept of time is going to shift, because it's not going to be, we're not going to track things by like actual hours as much, but like the energetic toll that it takes, how much time it feels like something takes, not how much time it actually is. Like, what is the weight energetically of the heaviness that we feel, right? Okay. This guy once more. And thank you guys for liking and subscribing. We're almost at 1,000, which is really nice. I'm doing some work on my computer. It just sounds like it with the type of music. I have a lo-fi music playlist on from Spotify. I'm editing a Instagram post for tomorrow because we have a new transit. It's actually Aquarius season today. Let me see. Yeah, it's pretty seen. It's The Birth of Venus by Botticelli, but I'm gonna keep it up. Yeah. Thank you though. Okie dokie, so that is done. What is Sunday? Oh, Dan, I just saw your message. Hold on, let me go take a look. And I have no problem. I actually made a post not long ago about Christianity and human design, so I have no problem with like talking about it publicly. Because I think like the nice part about being in our space is that everyone's respectful. Like nobody that's in our community is going to be somebody that's going to take something the wrong way. Like especially from you. So never feel, if you want to repost it in the community chat, I'm totally fine with that. But I appreciate you being considerate. I don't know the Queen Poe. I haven't heard of her. Oh. I like her energy though. She has a good website. So we're talking about, Deanna wrote me a message in Patreon about wanting to use Bible verses but not tussling with Christians. I mean, I think it's kind of inevitable that at least at some point, I find it hard to, like, I don't think that many outside of the, like, just responding with a blanket Jesus loves you comment, I haven't experienced anything like that. And Deanna, let me know if you're here, if I'm distracting you, because I'm responding in the chat right now regardless. Oh, comment. Oh, okay. Someone to put those cards away and read. Oh, thank you. And read Raj and read the Bible. Yeah, And I think, like, it's obviously no one likes when they say something negative like that. And I think it's like, I mean, just even in that tone in and of itself, like, if we're supposed to have, like, unconditional loving kindness, like, that's not how a true, like, practicing Christian that's actually reading the Bible that's like spirituality and constructed religion, or constructed religion. I don't know the word is escaping me. Like, it's like religion for the sake of controlling mass groups of people so they become submissive versus spirituality. Structured religion feels like this, spirituality feels like this to me, if I had to make it like a somatic movement. Yeah, I said I also love not asking people to follow you. Because it feels tacky to me too. Like, if someone says, like, I'll put on, like, my like, follow me for more, like, I don't care, like, that is okay. I feel like that's kind of like a gray area and you use your discernment, but I think, like, people are just naturally gonna, like, we know that we can follow people who are naturally connected with, right? Yeah, exactly. Like, yes, exactly. That's so true for you. Yes. Should burnt my sweater on the candle a little bit. Trying to actually make a difference. I'm just typing this out into the chat, or to our DMs as we're doing this. So there's a couple ways you could look at it, right? So when we're looking, I'm a philosopher of sorts, yes. Sun sign is in astrology. So your sun sign is what your day and month of birth is. But when we're looking at talking about Christianity in any regard just statistically is going to bring somebody, or the Bible is going to bring somebody in that has that perspective, right? So we know that's an A plus B equals C. If I mention Bible verses in a spiritual context versus religious context, then somebody will comment eventually having something negative to say. So you can look at it one of two ways. Either A, it's my page in my social media, right? Blanket statement. It's my social media. I can use it to create more engagement in my page. Or, I think that's almost like a good exercise, because we've been talking about boundary setting so much and saying, like something like the snarky person in me wants to say something like atheist. Yeah, there you go. The snarky person in me wants to say something like, or in a way that's like, this is my Aries third house and Aquarius Mercury, but like, I choose to I want to try to think through this properly. I do love to read the Bible, and I choose to lead with the loving kindness that it teaches us, right? And that alone in and of itself, most likely that person isn't, yes, you absolutely are. Most likely that person isn't going to comment back. Like, I got a comment on my human design explained for the week ahead, and they were like, they said something like voice quality 0. And I was like, I don't even know, like, there's so many different ways that person, like, that I could either, like, they were being snarky and were like, your video shit, or like, my audio was low, like, it wasn't even someone that I've ever seen or comments on my page. So I'm like, no profile, no picture, like, no real dialogue. So I'm like, okay, since I'm like a newer channel in the eyes of YouTube, like, do I want to create more of a dialogue or respond to this person for engagement's sake, or do I just like not care enough? And for me, I'm like, I truly have other things to do that, like, I want to respond to my comments on TikTok and your message, like, that's more important to me than like engagement in that video in that way. And I knew I was coming live today too, right? So like that, for me, it's like, what box is this checking for me truly? So yeah, yes, we talk, and I see that communication is so important for me, and it always has been a quiet person. A quiet passion. Yeah, absolutely. Like, how do you use the words in a way that, does or doesn't put somebody, yeah. Because, like, people, for whatever reason, made you feel safe. I think the biggest thing, right, and what I've said often is that it's safe to be seen by people who don't like you, right? It's safe to be seen by people who have opposing opinions of you, right? Like, how do you AI for your work? I don't know what you mean. I don't usually. So that's like, I'm very strict about that, because I don't, I'll pin that for now. Let me know what you mean more specifically, but I don't use AI. I'll use a filter, but I won't use AI. Yeah, Taurus, yeah. It's like that restriction. I feel like it's like that tightening of the throat, like very like throat chakra. But I think for you, right, if your goal, like, if I kind of look at this macro with you, right? Yeah, I don't use AI for my work. So I don't have like an answer other than that. But when we're kind of looking at it in like the macro lens, right? Like, you want to get recognized for being somebody that uses spirituality and from multiple different, let's say, spiritual disciplines, right? Similar to human design. Like, you, under the umbrella of human design is the Hindu Brahmin chakra system. There's the I Ching, ancient Chinese methodology, like multiple different areas, right? So for you, it's like, okay, we're looking at recognition through the lens of, getting recognized that, like, when you meet people that are angry online like that with grace, you have an opportunity to change the way that they think about their spiritual discipline. So I think that there's, as a Venusian Venus, like, the way that I set a boundary may be too confrontational in comparison, right? So like that, it's the feeling of setting a boundary feels good when you see me do it, but if you did it in the same way, it probably wouldn't feel as good because it's not your Mercury sign is Venusian, it's softer. So I would say looking at it more so from the graceful perspective when you feel like your nervous system can do it, right? And that's exactly what you're building up right now. So when, the next comment, you'll have kind of something to say of like like it just, I choose to, I do read the Bible, but for me, like the cards are just another way, like another divination tool that I can use to connect with God or something along those lines that just express your, these are kind of like the one-liners that you can use, Deanna, so you can kind of express your boundary in a way that's not like, shut up, like that feels like, okay, like it's not really open to discussion, but like, whether or not that person responds or if that person wants to, if you want to engage with that person, if they respond and how they respond is also going to tell you kind of like where mentally they're at, right? It depends on like, and especially with YouTube too, is its own kind of animal where I will pick and choose who I am, like who I respond to, how I respond to them, if I care to respond to them. Like it's all about like what feels good for me for this day. I'm a Pisces. Where do you look for, how do you express your boundaries? Human design. Just in general, like honestly, just from like a global perspective about boundary setting, I'm like, what do I feel right now? Like this person is rude, they're annoying, they're being annoying, but it's not intentional, right? I feel annoyed by this person asking me something repeatedly, or I feel agitated by the way that this person is coming at me. What is the way that they're coming at me truly? Are they being rude? Are they just ignorant to how I operate? It's like I give people room to be human. But it depends on like what type of boundary. So like as an example, right? Like when I go on TikTok live and people are used to like the certain kind of TikTok lives where they'll just drop. Yeah, absolutely. Which is, the human design spin on that is I check in with my sacral. But like, I think that it feels, and this is very manifesting generator, it feels less, I try not to force it into a modality first, actually. Even as a human design and reader and astrologer. I'm like, what am I, just bringing awareness to like who I am, which is reflected back in those systems anyway. But like when I'm looking at, I'm checking in with myself. So like if I have somebody on TikTok that keeps spamming, like I'm a Aries rising, Aries moon, Aries sun, Aries rising, Aries moon, Aries sun, but there's only, 5 of us here. Like obviously I see you, but if I'm in the middle of a conversation and I'm explaining something to somebody, right? It's like you can drop the comment, but it's when it's repeated, like pay attention to me now energy. That is like if you're old enough to be online and have a phone, right? Like you're old enough to know that that's not the way that we communicate with other people. And then I look at it like energetically, I'm kind of tuning in and I'm like, okay, like I had somebody yesterday that definitely had some sort of like a substance abuse, like mental health issue. So I'm like, I'm not going to, I can just tell by the cadence of their speaking energetically, kind of what am I intuiting of like what's kind of going on here. I think that, but it's kind of just using the assessment of like, what does the immediate moment require? I don't stress myself out by like, okay, how am I going to set every single boundary in the future? Because I don't know what that's going to look like. And it doesn't actually serve a purpose, me just thinking about it, unless the energy has somewhere to go, right? So it's like, then that's how we can get ourselves kind of worked up into an anxious lather to thinking about what might happen. But then there's like the strategy part. It's like obsessing over what might happen in the future versus knowing that like, okay, with Deanna's question, like this statistically has happened repeatedly in the past. So I know that this is something that I've seen before. I smell it. I know it's going to happen again. Yeah, I'm glad it can help. So I'll look at it as, when I know that people know TikTok lives to be, like drop your big 3, I'll do this for free. I've done a lot for free over the last 10 years. So it's like, if somebody's not patient enough to follow me and engage and look at my content and look at my playlist, and they're just trying to get a quick hit off of live, then you can pay for that for $15 in a 10-minute reading. Like, that's the way that Brenna does it. If you want somebody that's doing it for free, you can go to somebody else's page that could be, you know, starting out or equally as talented, and that's just the way that they navigate their lives. But like, just take a second to, like, if I see it as like you're opening the door, you've knocked on the door of my room, right? So if you come into my room and you're not taking a second to just kind of like be present and observe where you are as somebody that's coming into my space online, like I'm a hostess, so I'm graciously going to let you know where you put your shoes, where you drop your bag. But if I have somebody that doesn't want to take their shoes off in my home, then that's okay. You can go to somebody else's house who allows you to keep their shoes on when you walk in the door. So just kind of like an analogy, like a way that I can kind of describe it. And that just comes with getting clear first, right, on what we even need out of a situation. And like Deanna and Cassandra, like, you're now in a moment in time where you're able to realize that it's okay to ask for those things, and you're around more people who are much more understanding than maybe your nuclear family or the people that you grew up with. So it's like, oh, now it's actually safe for me to ask for these things, because it, like, that doesn't necessarily mean that me standing up for myself is always going to lead to conflict. It can, right? It does, even online, but that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you or that you need to feel fearful about it happening again anyway. So, you know, and that was something for me as a very like boundaryless person who was raised in an environment that like everyone else's needs had to be met, you know, emotionally before my own, that like does something to a person in and of itself. I'm just going to close the blinds since it's getting a little bright. But, you know, I think it comes down to like, what is it that you want out of the person in the situation? You know, Deanna, like, full circle, like, okay, since I'm going to be somebody who I have a desire to go through the Bible verses and studies that support empowerment and faith. You know, if you have a tarot card in the video that you do that with, or the bookmark to your Bible is a tarot card, that's gonna obviously create some discourse. And I think that like part of cleaning up with you in my headphones. Oh, I'm so glad! Yay! Okay, I'm glad. I'll write this down too. I think okay. We are chatting on YouTube Live right now, January 20th, for posterity. But we'll write the outline of what we discussed in a bit. I think I used wait, hold on. Posterity, right? That's what I meant. Making sure I use the word in the right way. Oh, well, kind of. But, yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, so I think, like, let me copy and paste. In the group chat. Bunches, thank you. Yeah, for the heart and the lovely name. Oh yeah, I'm so glad. Yes, now you got to Bunches and D. Yes, Deanna and Cassandra. Yeah, I think, okay, so Christians. Okay, so there's a couple things. So like Christian Christians like that. Christians who, yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Hi, F. Welcome, welcome. You went to sage mode. Oh, I really did visit. Yeah. I have my moments. Thank you, Knight. Muslim. I love that. I love that. I love that. A few of my close friends actually went to, I really wanted to go to Hagia Sophia in Turkey, but it was closed for renovation. But I've been to the Blue Mosque before. So I love anything. I was just talking about my favorite playlist. There's an Arabic playlist or an Arabian lounge playlist on Spotify that has some Arabic songs that I listen to. I am. Christians will always have something to say when it comes to spirituality. Figure out what your objective is. Since you are a Taurus Mercury, you may find it more sustainable to always meet them with grace, and I'm gonna kill them with kindness. That feels like better. Have a phrase that you can copy and paste back, such as I love to read the Bible, like using that, like tarot card reader as an example, or like the guy that was like put down the cards and read the Bible. I love to read the Bible, and I choose to show up with the loving kindness and unconditional love for others that it teaches us. Something like that, right? I don't know. Yeah. Aw, thank you, Riley. Hi. I appreciate that. You're so sweet. Yeah, this painting is called The Birth of Venus. It's an old Renaissance painting by Botticelli. Not the original, if you could imagine. Hi, Timothy. Hi, beautiful Libra. I love that. You guys are the only, your goal is to become as balanced as possible. The book Immature Parents made me realize that I've never been emotionally understood, and just knowing this, and yes, exactly. Yeah, and just knowing this a lot and amazing at the same time. Yes. It's baby. I don't know what that means. My Insta baby? I'm too old for that. I'm too old for that. I don't know what it means. But yeah, Deanna, I think having like just that realization of like, oh, I need to like relearn outside of the nucleus of like what other adults could potentially be like, and not having just that like how do I word it? Like core. These couple people weren't actually the full spectrum of other adults in the world, if that makes sense. Like we have to learn to like extract ourselves and think more objectively about the world around us, and kind of taking in some other data points. Will mommy open up for you? Hold on. Don't tell me. I'm up there. Want to hop up on the windowsill? Yeah, let's see. See, your nervous system is recalibrating to feel safe with confrontation. It doesn't mean that the full pivot for you will manifest as being comfortable arguing full time with people online, because that also like just brings down your frequency. Like I'm okay to like engage, you know, like, yeah, Benny boy. That's so funny. A pixie undercut hairstyle. I actually, somebody told me that I would look good with that, but I have not. I like my hair longer. What was I gonna say? Yeah, full-time online. Like, I just think about, like, after a while, people who are known, especially in the astrology space, like, people who are known for constantly arguing against other people's points of view, it just, like, it's like reminds you of the phrase, like, if you sit in shit, you start to smell, right? Like, they don't realize that, like, yes, you can defend yourself and go, you know, if somebody who's like, yeah, the pop astrologers say this, but this is actually what it means. Like, that's okay every once in a while, of course. Like, it's okay to have that, but when it's constantly arguing, you're just creating a space where there's just more, you know, low vibe, hatred, anger, malice, resentment for like that, like fighting through that kind of sludge. And, you know, the same kind of, like, I see a lot of things that are incorrect online and in the human design space. I don't spend my time trying to correct other people. Usually if there's people that are getting a lot of things wrong, I'll just block them. I just don't care enough to see that. And it's like, I trust that if I'm meant to guide other people, you know, in my way, they'll find me anyway. I am actually, yes, Steven. So figuring out, like, who are the people that I actually want to, and, like, example A, right? Like, just using this in real time. Who are the people I trust that I will actually attract the people that I want to work with anyway, right? So those people have always found me at the end of the day. Deanna, Cassandra, right? Like, anyone that's in Patreon, so on and so forth. It's those kind of people like you that I'm interested in connecting with more so, you know? So kind of figuring out what does that look like, and what is the frequency that those people kind of live on. You know, it doesn't mean that people won't slip through the cracks, right? But like it's having that belief that, you know, you'll attract the right people. Yeah, we all are. If everyone's trans and no one's trans. Your nervous system is recalibrating to feel safe with confrontation doesn't mean that the full pivot for you. Like, I just don't find it necessary. I think it's also like a very like, how do I say it? Like, youthful, like, kids who don't have real problems like to create problems online because it makes them feel like in control, or like they like to feel something intense, right? So it's like that kind of energy is like, you know, I'm not a teacher in a classroom for that reason. Yeah, just show up for yourself on a case-by-case basis in a way that allows you to feel confident. Because I think what if I'm like reading it correctly, because it used to happen to me too, Deanna, is like somebody says something, if somebody says something negative, right? I don't know what you mean. If every time somebody says something negative, you maybe go into the spiral of like your brain, you kind of start to like physically feel almost like the threat is physical, right? Like, people will feel that. Again, for every negative comment in your case, like with your question, Deanna, if every negative comment makes me feel like I start to get nervous, I don't know what to say back, it's just a sign that like you're rewiring your brain, or your brain has to be rewired to say like, this is not like an actual biological threat to my safety, right? Yeah, I'm so glad. Yeah, thanks for giving me good things to respond to. It helps me to help you. And is always a question. Yes, yes, exactly. Cell danger response. Thank you. I've never heard that exact terminology before, but yes. So whenever somebody says something antagonistic, which online happens all the time, hello, like we never know where it's going to come from. I say the internet and like live is like walking through Times Square. But like, if you know that you have a desire to connect with your people, exactly, like so in this live, right? Thank you. We're reprogramming what it means to deal with that, right? So yeah, absolutely. Aw, yes. And listen, because the reason like we relate is because I've also been there. Like, I didn't like confrontation. Like, I wasn't comfortable sticking up for myself. But then like, you take a look at the world around you, and like a lot of other people really aren't that impressive for me to get nervous about. Like people are just people too, right? And there's only like a very small handful of like reasons why they act antagonistic or cruel or rude, right? It's like hurt people is a phrase for a reason, and they love to also try to use that too as like a as a way to spin that on its head. But like there's a lot of people that are just going through things that like don't have like proper access to help, blah blah blah, but that doesn't get, you know, it's an explanation for the behavior, but it's not an excuse for allowing them to treat us like that in our space. So you know, the full circle, kind of like to walking through with like to Cassandra's point, like the cell reprogram, and that we can reprogram it is like, okay, I notice that when somebody says negative online, what is my body doing, right? I find myself getting kind of like, okay, like I'm preparing for battle, right? That's how it can feel. Hello, I hope you're feeling okay. Yes, we're talking about preparing for battle, so you appreciate this. So when somebody says something negative online, my biological response, because of my nervous system having been historically dysregulated, is that I am going on to into attack mode. Like I feel like I also need to get my shield and my armor and prepare. But this is a person on the internet that I have no connect. Like this person is not in my home, you know, energetically, especially because you're so in tune. It feels like that. But like, okay, this is what it feels like. So, okay, I know that that's happening. However, what I'm trying to flex the muscle of, and I'm working out in the spiritual gym, is showing up in a way that aligns with what my North Star is, what aligns with what my truth is. So it is, yes. Good eye, Mark. It's Birth of Venus by Botticelli. It's like late 1300s, early 1400s Renaissance, I believe. So when we notice what our body's doing, we can say, okay, I notice that this is what this comment is doing to me. I have an option to choose to do one of different things. I can ignore it or I can respond to it. Then if I choose to respond to it, I decide, okay, what's the next step when I respond to it? Do I find it more enjoyable for me to be an asshole back? Or do I find it more enjoyable for me to just treat them, you know, kill them with kindness, like those kind of cliches? Like, do I feel like, you know, how do I actually want to show up for how I want to be known, what I want to get recognized for? And I think, you know, in that, yeah, I'm at a place where I have to get up and on track with what I actually want. The people in my life don't have to understand. Yeah, absolutely. I live my North Star in truth. I love this. How to copy that. Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny because I'm like, I always, there's a couple people that I'm like, I know that they've been, even if they don't follow me, their content comes up because they use like some of my cadences in my speaking, or like I'll drop certain vocabulary words and you kind of watch how they like ripple out. Like I think of like Red Robe Astrology. He does that by talking about void moons a lot. And then, okay, have at it, kids. So anytime you see somebody else that like not giving him his flowers, but using those phraseology, like you can kind of see like, oh, okay, he understands where his energetic frequency is kind of going out in the world. So you can kind of see, and that doesn't always have to be something that's a negative thing. Like if we're teachers and we're online, like, you know, I'm like, okay, I've clocked it. I noticed it. Like, I want to see, at least it's helping. At least it's helping somebody else. But, you know, whether, I had somebody actually that DM'd me that's creating this app. Her name's Alexa or Alexis. I can't remember. And I ended up having to block her because she DM'd me and she was like, hey, we're creating this app. And like, we would love for you to consult with you. And you like, basically, we want to pick your brain for free, but we'll mention you as a, like a founding member of the app or something like that. And I was like, hey, like, you know, I appreciate you reaching out. Like, congratulations on your app. Like, I do consulting, but for a paid, for like fee, right? So she didn't like that because she didn't follow me anyway. She said in her message that she loved what I was doing, but like, if, you know, if you don't follow me, then like, I don't actually believe in you wanting to support me anyway. You're just looking to get advice for free. And then there was another post that I saw that was from this app that was being created, and I was like, oh, this is her app. And it was like, we paid an Etsy witch and an astrologer to you know, build our app. And I was like, oh, okay, so you'll allegedly, who knows if that's even true, but allegedly will pay, you know, you'll pay them, but it's okay to come into my inbox for free because you perceived me one way. So, you know, even in the message, I was like, I'm not, you know, and again, I'm not at a point in my life where I need to, like, being mentioned as a founding member on an app that may or may not take off is not interesting enough for me. You know, it's like either I can, like, I'm not interested in that. That's not something that feels exciting for me, that even makes sense. And it's like disrespectful. So especially now, I'm like, like that, it's setting the boundary in a way where like I'll give them the out to just be ignorant, but I also obviously in their posts that they know better. So, when we're looking at those kind of examples, and those things happen like, every few and far between, but frequent enough where I'm like, it's an exercise in reminding people that it's my responsibility to teach them how to treat me. So for me, it's like constantly setting that boundary and kind of saying like, okay, I know that like if I'm going to be consulting on an app, like I don't talk to people for free. Regardless, it takes some of my energy. So like if I'm going to be consulting on an app and telling people, and online, it's like, I don't even, if you are going through the trouble of coming to my page every day and, watching my energy of the days, but you're not actually giving me the proper reciprocity to even follow me and then asking me to, help you with a business that should potentially, in theory, if you do it right with an application, make you a lot of money. Like you have enough app money to do the coding. So it's like, I don't know you from Adam. Like I don't know you enough to do that. So when we're kind of, thinking of those kinds of things, yeah, it's just shady. And I'm like, if the app becomes well known and people like that I know are downloading it, I already screenshotted the DMs and the screenshots about it. So I don't understand how you can look at Pluto and Aquarius in and of itself. And if you're making an astrology app, you should know in and of itself that like there's no apps like that are even going to be successful anyway if you're trying to build your app on the backs of people that you're not paying for their labor, or at least not giving them something. Like, who are you? Like, why would I care about, if it was like somebody that was well known and creating a new astrology app that actually has some skin in the game, that's a different story, right? But like Pluto and Aquarius in and of itself is not going to, take kindly to people who don't know how to create respect. So just a real life story, or the ways that I kind of think about, like, again, teaching people how to treat you. I could have just read the message and let it go, but I was like, okay, I'll give this person the opportunity to, have a response that they should be having. And even in that response is a little scorpionic test to say like, okay, do you actually know what you're talking about? Because I do. I know that I do. I'm confident in my knowledge. Be careful, you're gonna burn your tail on the candle, mister. Do you want to lay down here and get cozy with mom? Always used to make his appearance, yeah. But yeah, so when it comes to the Christianity context full circle, yeah, I put in the response, like, Christians will always have something to say when it comes to spirituality. Figure out what your North Star of conversation and recognition is. What does responding to them, especially as a projector, help your mission in getting the recognition you would like? Figure out what your objective is. Yeah, since you have a Taurus Mercury, you may find it more sustainable to always meet them with grace and kill them with kindness. Have a phrase that you can copy and paste back, such as, I read the Bible, but I choose to show up with the love and kindness and the unconditional love for others that it teaches us. See, your nervous system is recalibrating to feel safe with confrontation. It doesn't mean the full pivot for you will manifest as being comfortable arguing full time with people online. Just show up for yourself on a case by case basis in a way that allows you to feel confident. So let me copy and paste that and send it back to the chat. Okay, there we go. I think that hit all the points. Let me know, Deanna, if there's anything else that kind of sprung up for you. Because I think it's like, you don't want to tussle. You don't want to have an argument that has a dead end. If it's somebody that's only hellbent on converting you, that's a different frequency. That's somebody who's open to having a conversation in a kinder way. So I think that that's kind of will be, excuse me, your ultimate decision. Like I had somebody, like I love the Vedic astrology warriors who are like I told you guys a story, or a few of you, that I had somebody that commented on one of my videos, and I said, like, drop your Mercury placement for a tip. And, or someone said, Taurus. They drop it like Taurus or something like that. And, well, hold on, let me think of this. Let's say, because I'll ask, I drop your rising sign or your energy type for a free tip or two. And someone said, during, let's say, Taurus season, they commented Aries, and I answered back and I was like, oh, are you an Aries rising? Or where is Aries in your chart? And they responded, no, like the sun is actually in Aries, not in Taurus, right? Because it's back, yes, it's back and generally speaking, in Vedic astrology or sidereal astrology, it's like we're a season ahead in Western. So they were like, no, the true answer to what you're trying to teach people, like, just came at it like nasty. And like when somebody comes at me sideways like that, I was like, my response to them, in that moment, and I don't always, Leo-san, hi Josh, hello. My response to that is, to them was like, oh, LOL. I encourage you, like, if you want to teach people about your way of thinking, that the way that you're not going to do it is by correcting people and hiding the comments of somebody else's video. If you want recognition for Vedic astrology, instead of spending your time online, because I've never looked at somebody trying to correct somebody else on a video and been inspired to follow that person. Right? Like, I've never looked at somebody else's comment trying to cause an issue or just being rude or disrespectful and been like, let me follow them. Right? So that is kind of like knowing what you're in it for. There are people in this world who thrive on that area of confrontation, but I know that that's not my North Star. I'll stick up for what I believe in, but arguing with people all day long on the internet is not how I choose to stick up for myself. I don't find it to be a fruitful, I don't know it historically to have ever been something that is, like, even battles and wars are temporary. Even if there's still war in other places of the world, but we don't fight the same war all the time forever. Takeaway is learning to allow this to show me the true mission. Takeaway, good or bad. Yeah, how can it be stamped with my mission? Absolutely. Yeah, Deanna's words from the comment section on YT. Takeaway is learning to allow this to, I'm cross-posting this is the Josh and Orion, you guys can see, into our group chat on Patreon. Yeah, takeaways, learning to allow this to show me the true mission. Take away, good or bad. Yeah, and how can it may change based on the day. How can it be stamped? Hello, with my mission. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, just so you have that. Oh, that's the chat you were talking about. Yeah. So because Deanna's been asking so many great questions during the day as we're over on YouTube in these co-working sessions, that I was like, you know what, instead of to kind of help, and there is a live chat replay, so you can go back and watch the chat. It uploads after 24 hours. But I was like, if there's a question in the community chat, I'll just cross transpose some of the important pieces, because I feel like when we all have one kind of area, and I feel like Orion and Josh, Leo sun, Leo Cancer, big 3 placement, Sagittarius sun, 5 line in human design, working through the feelings of confrontation are, yeah, absolutely. I always, under my lives tab is where all the live replays are all the time. So I keep them there. But if we all have, if a projector has something that we're going through, or that they're going through, we probably all have that same feeling in some capacity. So it's also just kind of another way to help us all. So thank you. Yeah, I showered today. Thank you. But yeah, so I feel like that's kind of a helpful word. But yeah, if there's any other conversation about boundaries or something along those lines. Yeah, exactly. My hubby's barometer for social. No, so helpful. It's helpful to have a projector to kind of reflect back like what's happening. And so much easier like for a projector like Josh and Deanna, whatever advice you give to other people, it's helpful to say, okay, this is the advice that I'm giving these other people and I can see it in them so clearly. How can I now reflect back and realize where that's been the advice that I give others, where I can apply that to my life too? Yes, absolutely. Especially working in corporate too. Like so helpful. Okay. Something like that. But yeah, these are really good think tank sessions. And also for Patreon, this Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when we're doing our business audit. So if you guys have a business idea and you want to present it to me as like our safe space kind. Oh, bye, Vizzy. Thank you. Nice to meet you again. I'll be back on tomorrow. But my usual schedule is Monday through Thursday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But thanks for being here. Yeah, exactly. And it's Saturday, Josh, is a good day to do that too. So whoever comes into the call in order, that's who I answer. Yeah, we are in the US. That's who I answer first. So I divide the time that each person gets by how many people. So if we're there for 1 hour and 2 people show up, you guys each get a half hour of workshopping with me. And then I try to like give a little bit of time at the end because sometimes people won't come in at the exact time, but halfway through, blah, blah, blah. So I make sure that everyone gets some attention. I'm just looking at my calendar. But yeah, the business audit will be on the 24th. So this Saturday, if you guys feel like there's anything that you want to kind of workshop or talk about, that's what that's there for too. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, but any boundary setting. Oh, California, there you go. I wonder if you're a Leo or have any Leo or Aries placements. It feels very fire sign energy. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see like when we have Aries and Neptune or Saturn and Neptune going into Aries, how that kind of shifts. Like we have like this is how we think it can manifest, but it's also like everyone has free will to do with it what we wish. But thank you again, Deanna, for that question. I'm writing my Substack for 3 a.m. That goes out at 3 a.m. too. Aries moon cluster is ready for Saturn Neptune. Yes, absolutely. I feel like just because of all the work that you've put in to be so disciplined about your Aries moon, like that will help you so much, especially as your chart ruler. It just feels like most Cancer risings that I know are just feeling so much more grounded and like, especially as we have Saturn moving out of a water sign too. It'll help with that a lot. Just to not feel like your head's being dragged around by your moon as much. It always will be a little bit, but it's like how do you use it intentionally versus feeling like you have no control over it. Those are two very, very different energies, as we know. Traditional ruler of... Oh, your mom's a Cancer rising. Yeah, so that probably just that little sentence or two that I said probably reflects that really well too. I actually think, let me go back and look at. Oh yeah, energetic Mercury conjunct Mars and Cap is doing its thing. Yes, absolutely. Oh yeah, it's hard not to with these things like the red thread or making a clear way like you do. Yeah, absolutely. I understand that. Yeah, no explanation desired or required. Absolutely. Yeah, they're just people too. It's true. Yeah, my sister's always reminds me of that with how chill she is around famous people. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that's like, I don't know. I feel like yeah. Aquarius moon. Okay, yeah, yeah. It's a roller coaster. It's such a fast changing chart ruler. Yeah, hell of a ride. Yeah, and it's like, even though it feels fast, like once you kind of have down like every 28 days, like there's a new kind of shift, and you start like I feel like it's fast, but also ironically, because it's a 28-day lunation roughly, like your cycle, you learn to repeat those patterns, and you're like, okay, Aries moon days I feel good, Scorpios are bad, like whatever, you can kind of track that. Oh, that makes sense because the moon moves so fast. Exactly. Yeah, 2.5 days. It's like, it's interesting to see how it manifests differently for everybody, but, or every, like all Cancer risings are obviously Cancer risings, but they take on more of the energy of their moon sign. So it's like, what is their moon? How is that more aspect, or how is that aspected? Things like that. Okay, let me flip this for a second, just so I can look over to Substack for a moment, and then I'll look at your comments in a moment in between. I'm trying to think if there's any other good boundary, any other ways that you guys feel like you need help when it comes to boundary setting, or where you feel like, okay, I feel like I'm destined for more, because it's very much the energy of Aquarius season in the first 6 days of Aquarius with our Gate 41. I just made the post that will go out tomorrow, and we have our Gate 41 transit in human design for, it's technically the beginning of the year in human design terms. But like anywhere, like anything else that, do you want me to talk more on, said non-sarcastically, yes, like anything else that you feel like you want more help on in terms of like boundary setting, or taking up space because you know you're meant to, so on and so forth. Yeah, less guilt about boundary setting is what I'm working on. Yeah, and I think like when it comes to guilt, is it like kind of acknowledging like what are the things that make you feel guilty? Like, is it that you feel guilty about limiting page numbers on your reports, or like what's the core of guilt? If you want to share, obviously it's up to your Scorpio stellium. I defer to that expert, from one Scorpio stellium to another. Aquarius is Saturn, so for those of you who felt charters as well. Yeah, limited capacity for what I can provide. I will say this. You, Gabe, are such an amazing resource of so much fucking information. Like, I feel like you are the, chills the left side of my body, like, human incarnation of the Library of Alexandria, and, like, all the lost texts that, like, we don't get, right? So it's, like, I feel like seeing it as a domino effect, right? Like, your content shares 1% of the tip of the iceberg when you ask yourself, this is cool, but why should people care and how does it help them? In even just a small bite-sized way. And then with each kind of like iteration, let's say it's like, that's your free marketing. Then from there, if people want to go deeper, say you have a Substack where you write out, like I'm doing right now, like more of the energetic menu of the day. My free subscribers get a paragraph. My paid subscribers get like in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Like, this is what you can do each moment to kind of check in with yourself if you need like a little cosmic menu. And then that's another version of access. And then people who pay for the full reports, like if that's kind of like your end stop for now, like remember that like people can only absorb so much information at a time. The common person's attention span for knowledge is a 45-minute talk. So if you notice in YouTube videos that are an hour long, 45 minutes is when people make their pitch, or like it's just like the data of the human brain. So remembering that like even if you provide one impactful sentence, that it's not the word count that matters. It's that it's how you explain it to a person in a way that's actually impactful for them. And I think that leads to, for you, Gabe, like looking at your audience and saying like, am I attracting the newbie or am I attracting the scholar? And for you, I think it'll be both. And then kind of saying like, how can I keep my scholastic energy in a way that allows the novice to still understand it? And that would be a way to kind of like look at like how to know that you're, yeah, exactly. I know, right? We'll astral project back. I think that's a really good way to think of yourself, and like how like this is an offering. It's not the only offering that you'll ever have. Like I think you could also do like in the future, like with all of your writings, it's like if you can there's something called like VTubers in like the gaming community. Well, basically it's a person, but they have like an AI avatar that like is the AI. It's your voice, but you could change your voice if you wanted to. But you can create like a little avatar of yourself, like a Bitmoji, and like condense all of that to like courses that you film online to teach people in that way. So like kind of doing it that way. Thankfully, no Diddy parties. Although I did work in arts and music management in New York City 10 years ago when he was having his last full swing. So I could have ended up at a Diddy party, but I circumnavigated that. But yeah, so let me know any follow-up questions to that, Orion. Your limited capacity for what I can provide energetically with a disabled body and brain. Yeah, absolutely. And I think like it's like disabled in the eyes of like your physical body has its limits, but I think because your mind has no bounds, like it's like your body's like, okay, we're keeping score because you have to, focus on like how it's okay to not give everything away for free. And I think most people with how much can actually find it overwhelming because they feel inferior because they can't keep up, and your goal is to make them feel like inquisitive, right? As a professor, any good professor does. I realize now saying this out loud sounds a bit silly to feel guilty about a condition I have no control over. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I never thought of it like that. That's a fun idea. Yeah, I think you hit everything I've been circling. Yeah, it's like there's barriers to entry. Are you thinking the avatar sets an energetic boundary? Oh, I just mean like another so if the offering right now for Gabe is the written example, what he can go on to do to feel more expansive is almost creating like an online like digital academy, and he has to describe the languaging and like basically teach the class. But if he's uncomfortable like being on camera, like he kind of likes to be like the man behind the curtain. Exactly, Rain Man energy, absolutely. Like then it doesn't have to be him that's perceived. So I was just saying, like, instead of being on camera like this, like you can create with an online platform or an online service, like a little avatar, so you don't have to be perceived, basically. Right? Like you don't have to be seen in your creation of things. Like I think of like the burnt peanut is a new gaming guy, but yeah, but also it serves its purpose too. Like you can create an alternative avatar. Like I think of like our higher self kind of energy. Yes, exactly. You're the good wizard, the good wizard who cares. And I think it's like I feel like the constant battle for a Sagittarius is to remind yourself, like, I find this really cool, but why should other people care about it? And where have I hit the wall where I've lost people? Right? Like where do I start to notice that people are kind of like, okay, that was too much, or now I feel like, because you know so much and can pack so much into so few sentences that like you kind of need to give, it's like the pacing in a restaurant, or when you're drinking around the world in Disney, right? It's like, okay, if I go to Italy and then I'm like pounding wine and I go right to France and I'm having a port or whatever, that leads to like I'm gonna be, quick energy. So I think starting to think of like the hospitality and being somebody who's so like steeped in that and having a husband that knows it so well, it's like really thinking of like what the hospitality element is for your business. So like your an appetizer, or the amuse-bouche, right, is your content. And then after your content, like, okay, like let's say an amuse-bouche is just like one piece of something. That's your content. And then the actual appetizer is is a workshop, right? Like a workshop that you do that's either low cost for $5 or it's for free, just so you can get deeper access. It depends on what your goal is for how much knowledge you need. Your entree is like your written word, right? Like your yeah, I'm so glad. Your packets. And then say dessert, or where people go after, would be like your academy. And maybe that's the in the French tradition, it's like the dessert slash like you have a glass of like really nice wine and then cheese after dinner. So it's like kind of looking at it that way for like where you want your people to go is helpful too, to explain it kind of in those terms. So yeah, like what is your menu, and noticing like maybe you're a new restaurant that's just starting out, so you have a really simple tasting menu and you only do tapas, which is like amuse-bouches and appetizers, and you're not ready for the full entree or desserts yet, or something along those lines. But I think just thinking of it in the lens of like what do you want people to do when they're with you is important. Yeah, exactly. I love that. Write that down. Yeah, I think it's just always kind of like thinking about like how do you want people to feel like in these afternoons. Like I'm working, I want my people to be productive, whatever that looks like for you. It's not my goal to judge what you guys find productive individually, but my goal is to create a space where people can be productive on their own terms, right? So it's like in these lives with this intention on YouTube, my goal is to create a space where people feel like they're productive when they're alone at home, which is a hard thing to do, right? Like when we're alone and we have nobody else looking at us. Okay, good. Like nobody else looking at us or telling us what to do as adults, like, it becomes more challenging to stay on top of whatever it is we want to stay on top of. So I know that going into this, right? So full circle to kind of connect everyone's question is like when I have somebody that comments something that's inappropriate or whatever, I get to decide what it is that I want to do with that, or how I want to diffuse the conversation. So yeah, absolutely. On Saturday too, I was saying at 1 p.m. Eastern, if you guys can't make the live, like Orion, if 1 p.m. is early for you, you have a migraine or something, if you ever want to get a question to me early, or you can't join live, just let me know and say like, hey, this is what I want you to look at for me, because I'm doing the business auditing session this Saturday. So let me know if like you have something ahead of time. Oh, the language of touch is my greatest sense. Yes, touch and taste are so intertwined. Like you think about like the utensil, like there's certain things that you have to eat with a fork, and some things that feel so uncomfortable to eat with a spoon. Same type of thing, right? The touch and the taste are so intertwined with like, if I put a bowl of spaghetti, or if I put a handful of spaghetti in my hand and I don't actually hold it in a bowl, that is a sensory nightmare, right? Like, so it's like those kinds of things that we can kind of look out for, especially when we get 5 people, but yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so what was I going to say? Yeah, I think just thinking about this is a time for us to say like, okay, how do I want people to experience me, and looking at the biggest tip too is looking at I mentioned this to Steph, who's the fellow human design reader. She got a reading with me last month, I think. Last month, maybe even a few weeks ago. I don't remember now. Time is so funny. But I was saying how like thinking about like how this is supposed to be fun, and if it's not fun for you, like where does it kind of need to be written out, because like you have the opportunity to just enjoy every single thing that you're creating as well. So that also being important. I'm gonna pause there for a second and try to bang out the rest of the Substack article with the rest of this timer. So let's see, it's probably only like 2 minutes, and then I'll check the chat in a moment. Let me give myself another minute. I'm gonna hit a stride. I can feel it. Should my finances allow? Preferably one. Okay. Hello. Okay, how do I want folks to experience me? Oh yeah, exactly. This reads the outside validation gives me the power of how I want to feel and show up. Yeah, like for me now, like I think about my family and history and blah blah blah, and I'm like the life that I live now, where I have a peaceful home, a husband that loves me, a sustainable grounding, like that alone is like such a point of um peace and fulfillment for me, that like it's every day is just an opportunity for me to like figure out how I want to experience more joy. So really focusing on like how where you are right now allows you to create more expansion. What I find joy and peace in is going to be different. Some people find renting versus having a mortgage more enjoyable. Whatever that looks like for you, that's the first place to start, right? And just kind of looking at it as like, okay, if I feel good now, and for you in your case, Deanna, you have December at home and just feeling like, okay, I have this ability to be home with my daughter, and what does that look like for my day? It's like, okay, how can I add in something that reflects the lifestyle that I'm living right now, instead of feeling like I have to do something differently? Because that's what the sustainability piece comes in. Made that mistake because I'm human. No, absolutely, I know. Aquarius, hi Densa, welcome. I love Aquarius. So happy almost birthday. It is your time. Aquarius season is upon us today. What is the age of Aquarius? So the age of Aquarius has already started. Basically, it's a fancy way to say that Pluto, the last planet in our solar system, is in Aquarius. And so Pluto is a disruptor. It takes time to slowly orbit. So it's giving us an overhaul in how we are experiencing our systems. I don't know if you live in the US, but we can see that overhaul starting already. A lot of things changing. It feels like it gets worse before it gets better. But what it's teaching us is how to really know that we have to be people that are strong independently to be an effective member of a community that's coming together with people who are similar and people who are different than us. So a lot of that energy. Oh, happy birthday to your dad. Oh, there you go. Oh, Taurus moon, Libra rising. I love that. Aw. Yeah, so that's like I already can see the combination of energies. I like this Taurus moon though. That's really sweet. Can enjoy good food. Oh, Pluto's in your 10th. I love that. Yeah, so through the next, 19 years, it's really transforming the way, like, you're not going to even recognize yourself or the way that you'll be known. It's like throughout the next 19 years, like your blog really taking off, making sure that you aren't unafraid to change yourself in a public way that, it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else but you when it comes to your career, and what makes you happy long term is really supported with Pluto and Aquarius. I love that. I love that. Okay, let me write down the little tip for the afternoon. Let's go how to use. Tomorrow's the 21st. Oh, Taurus sun, yeah. Yeah, my moon. My mom is a Taurus sun, Pisces moon, and Libra. Oh, Libra rising as well. Oh, that makes so much sense. Aw. Yes, yes. Aw. Yeah, I'm curious how Uranus and Taurus has affected them, but hopefully in all good ways. I know it's been challenging for a lot of folks. I was just writing about that actually just now. Toss a lot of shit. Yeah, I understand. Same for my parents too, as and the little you guys know. It makes so much sense. A sun sign is what sign of the zodiac you are. What's your birth month and day? I had to think about it for a second. I just want to remind me to ask you, have you ever looked into your natal degrees? Oh, I love that. Yes. Yes, you are. Absolutely.